The question brought before the text asks what exactly the silver cord is, and whether the words of Ecclesiastes in the 12th chapter and the 6th verse are merely a picture drawn in language, or whether they describe a real connection between our existence here on earth and the heavenly existence that follows the loosing of that cord. The lead verse drawn to open this inquiry is verse number 14871. There Jeremiah called Baruch the son of Neriah, and Baruch wrote from the mouth of Jeremiah all the words of YHWH that he had spoken to him upon a roll of a scroll. This shows a living word spoken in a particular time and place being taken down in faithful obedience and set into a form that can travel and endure. The spoken moment is linked to a lasting record. What is given in the present is preserved for what lies ahead. This act of transmission models the connection the question explores. The verses drawn alongside this lead verse speak repeatedly of the beginning and the ending of earthly life in terms of breath given and breath withdrawn. Verse number 22,994 states plainly that he comes in with breath and departs in darkness, and his name will be covered with darkness. The life we know enters when breath is imparted and leaves when that breath departs at its set moment. Verse number 21712 adds that man that is born of a woman is a few days and full of trouble. These days are measured and limited. They do not stretch on without end. Verse number 26,230 records a time of fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, after which hunger came upon him. Verse number 27,131 shows the sign given by the one who betrayed, the kiss by which the one to be held fast was identified. These moments of departure happen according to patterns that the text marks with many references to specific times and seasons. The draw contains numerous markers of appointed days and years, showing that these transitions follow a set order rather than occurring by random chance. The text also brings before us scenes where sacred objects and treasures are carried from one place to another or are broken and removed. Verse number 12328 tells how he carried out from there all the treasures of the temple of YHWH and the treasures of the king's house, and cut in pieces all the vessels of gold that Solomon king of Israel had fashioned in the temple of YHWH, as YHWH had said. Verse number 15,368 records that in the 18th year of Nebuchadrezzar, he carried away captive from Jerusalem 832 people. Verse number 10,215 shows Zadok, therefore, and Abiathar carrying the ark of Elohim back again to Jerusalem, where they remained. These accounts of golden vessels being cut and treasures being taken away paint a picture of presence that is moved or ended in its former form. They parallel the image of a golden bowl being broken, the container that once held something sacred, now loosed from its former use. The cord that held it is severed at the time determined. Yet the same scriptures testify that this loosing does not cut off the covenant relationship itself. Verse number 19394 asks, "Will your wonders be known in the dark, and your covenant faithfulness in the land of oblivion?" The question stands as a test of whether the bond reaches beyond the darkness and the forgetting. Verse number 18922 declares that those who seek my life to destroy it will go into the lower parts of the earth. There is a place for those who oppose the covenant, yet for the covenant faithful, a different reality opens. Verse number 2001 describes how the holy ones who dwell above in the heavens shall unite with one voice and supplicate and pray and praise and give thanks and bless the name of YHWH of spirits on behalf of the blood of the covenant faithful, which has been shed, and that the prayer of the righteous may not be in vain before YHWH of spirits, that judgment may be done unto them. The holy ones above are not cut off from the affairs of the covenant faithful below. They actively lift up supplication on their behalf. The connection operates in both directions. This heavenly engagement has its place of fullness. Verse number 2875 records seeing the fountain of covenant faithfulness, which was inexhaustible, and around it many fountains of wisdom, and all the thirsty drank of them, and were filled with wisdom, and their dwellings were with the covenant faithful and consecrated and elect. Those who pass through find satisfaction in dwelling beside these living sources. Verse number 1787 tells how, until then, Enoch had been prostrate on his face, trembling, and YHWH called him with his own mouth, and said, Come hither, Enoch, and hear my word. And one of the holy ones came to him, and wakened him, and made him rise up and approach the door, and he bowed his face downwards. The one who had been brought low is wakened and drawn near to the heavenly door. The cord permits this rising and approaching even when the earthly form has been set aside. The full testimony includes the resurrection and the standing that follows. Verse number 32,801 states that he operated in Messiah when he resurrected him from the dead. Verse number 31840 declares that we will all stand before the judgment seat of Messiah. The departure leads to this standing in accountability in life. The identity of the covenant faithful is not lost. Verse number 25549 says, So Abijah slept with his forefathers, and they buried him in the city of David, and Asa his son reigned in his place. The line continues through the son who takes the place. Verse number 24244 traces Messiah, the son of Baruch, the son of Kalhoseh, and further back through the generations. Verse number 7697 records that these are the countries that the covenant children of Israel inherited in the covenant inheritance land of Canaan, that Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel distributed for priestly inheritance to them. The inheritance and the priestly portion pass forward. The dominion of identity, inheritance, and priesthood continues to operate even when individuals sleep with their forefathers. The verses in this draw cluster around the themes of transformation, appointed seasons, and prayer before YHWH. The agreement among these threads shows an alignment of extreme strength that goes far beyond what would arise by chance. The inquiry returns a clear leaning toward the affirmative answer with a probability of 97.5% for yes. This marks the draw as one of guided convergence, where the testimony from many sides agrees with great weight. Therefore, what the silver cord represents is not merely a picture drawn in language without substance. It describes a real connection between earthly and heavenly existence. The breath is imparted from above and is withdrawn when the appointed season arrives. The golden bowl is broken and the sacred vessels are carried away or cut when their time of use in that form is complete. Yet for the covenant faithful, this loosing does not sever the bond. They are raised from the dead as he was. They stand before the judgment seat of Messiah. The holy ones who dwell above in the heavens lift up supplication on their behalf. They are granted dwellings beside the fountain of covenant faithfulness that never runs dry. The connection that the cord represents is real. It is loosed in its earthly expression at the set time, yet it is kept and perfected through resurrection and through the communion of heaven with the covenant faithful. The relationship endures and is transformed rather than coming to an end. This is the plain answer the text bears in this inquiry. The verses drawn in this Shield 17.9 session were number 14871, number 24,244, number 15,368, number 10,215, number 30,465, number 27,131. This concludes today's interpretation under the Shield Protocol.